أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبد الله ورسوله أما بعد. We thank the Almighty Allah for giving us an opportunity to be here. We thank Him for His mercies that He's bestowed upon us. We bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except the Almighty Allah. We also bear witness that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and His messenger. Whosoever the Almighty Allah guides is really guided, and anybody who goes astray has nobody to blame but themselves. Alhamdulillah, today I believe is the 12th day of Ramadan. 12th day of Ramadan, 1444 years after the hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which also corresponds, I believe, with the 2nd day of April. Third day of April. I keep getting these dates wrong. May the Almighty Allah safeguard us. 3rd day of April 2023. Alhamdulillah, today is our, I believe, our 9th class, inshallah, on tafsir. Yesterday we spoke about Qul A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq, where we saw the evils that people perpetrate against other people in terms of destroying them, in terms of just evil. And then we gave young man, if you're not going to sit in the class and keep quiet, you can walk out. Okay? We saw the benefits one gets from Qul A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq and how important it is. And we spoke about the virtues of Al-Mu'awwidhatayn, which are the 2 surahs that the Almighty Allah revealed in trying to help us and then protect us from the influences of these evil people. And then we gave the history behind the revelation of these 2 verses. And I believe today we are going to read Surah An-Nas. If Sheikh is ready, he can give us, Surah An-Nas, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
نعم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As we said yesterday, Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas were revealed together, or they were revealed one after the other. And then both of them come with, the similar or same properties or same, potency. Let's not forget the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, where she said, Anna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam كان إذا اشتكى يقرأ على نفسه بالمعوذات وينفث فلما اشتد وجعه كنت أقرأ عليه وأمسح بيده رجاء بركته. She said, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, anytime he's not feeling well, he, put his hands together like this and then he reads Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq and Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Nas, and then he blows into it, and then he wipes his body with it. But then when he became so ill, I was the one who was reading it in his palm, and then I used his palm to rub over his body because his hands, because of barakah. There's also another hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha where she said, anytime the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to sleep, going to bed, he's going to sleep, he put his hands together like this, and then he reads Qul Huwallahu 3 times, Qul A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq 3 times, and Qul A'udhu bi Rabbin Nas 3 times, and then he blows into it, and then he wipes his body, beginning with his head, and then his face, and then the rest of the body. He does that 3 times. So we are just repeating the hadith that we repeated yesterday concerning the virtues of Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas have the same, virtue. And the reason behind the revelation of the surah, we said yesterday, is, that Jewish man, Labid ibn al-Asam, who charmed the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And yesterday we spoke extensively concerning, this charm, how it happened, and then the question someone might ask, that if the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is really a prophet of the Almighty Allah, why was he charmed? And we said the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not only is he a messenger, he's also a teacher, someone that we learn from. And the Almighty Allah made him go through some of these things so that you and I, when we come back, we have a reference point where we can learn and copy from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we're not going to repeat that. If you want to have, more information upon that, you can check, the tafsir of Surah Al-Falaq that we did yesterday. So we're going to go straight into, the surah, taking them one verse after the other. Sheikh, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ.
قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ.
The Almighty Allah says, Ya Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, قُلْ, say, أَعُوذُ, I seek refuge, بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, from the Lord of humanity, from the Lord of human beings. Next verse.
مَلِكِ النَّاسِ.
Malik Nas, the ruler of the human beings, the ruler of the human beings. We'll come explain why he made use of only human beings. Now,
إِلَهِ النَّاسِ.
and then the God of humans. The scholars of Tafsir are saying that when Almighty Allah says, بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, Malik Nas, Ilahi Nas, he's making us understand that he is the Rabb. He is the provider, he is the sustainer, he is the cherisher, he is the one who runs the affairs. And then he brought Nas. Why didn't he say Rabbil Alameen and Malikil Alameen and Ilahil Alameen? But he made it specific to human beings because you human beings are the dominant force of his creation. So for example, if I don't want to give an example that is, for example, let's say we are here and then we have our leader, and then someone comes and then he gives the leader a warning. It goes to all of us. Yes. If he gives someone else who is not a leader a warning, it doesn't affect all of us because it's an individual where we can. But if he comes and then he is fighting our leader, it means he is fighting all of us. Anybody who comes here to fight Imam Nuh is fighting all of us. If he fights someone else, then that's a different thing. And that doesn't mean that because the person is not the Imam, it's not important. No. I'm just giving an example that if he comes out to fight the Imam, he is fighting all of us. Because so long as he disrespects the Imam, he has disrespected all of us. And it is the right of the Imam that we get up to defend him. So the Almighty Allah, when he made use of An-Nas here, he's letting us understand that we, the human beings, are his preferred creation. We are the dominant force. So if he's saying he's the Lord of the human beings, he doesn't need to tell you that he's the Lord of the animals and the Lord of the rest of the creation. And human beings here, the Quran is revealed to us for us to use it as what? As a source of inspiration and as a source of guidance. So when Almighty Allah specifies as human beings, there is a reason behind it. Now, since we the human beings are the dominant force, when he says Rabbun Nas, we are what? He is the Lord of the human beings. He says Malikin Nas, he is the king of human beings. We have a lot of kings, yes. People say they are kings, but ultimately the king of the kings, the owner of dominion, the one who controls power is who? Is Allah. Someone might say, okay, fine. There are people who are kings. Fine. He said, okay, Ilahin Nas. He is the God. Now say you are God and let's see. You cannot say you are God. So in these three verses, the Almighty Allah makes it very clear. He speaks about his uluhiyah, he speaks about his rububiyyah, he speaks about his malakutiyah. That he is the king, he is the one who provides, he is the one who deserves to be worshipped, and that he is the Lord and he is the boss over everybody. And the reason why the Almighty Allah makes this very profound is that he wants you to put it at the back of your mind that since we are in Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas, and Surah Al-Falaq and Nas speaks about the evil that might befall you, understand that there's only one being who can avert that evil for you, or who allows that evil to affect you. Who is that? He is Allah. So as we said yesterday, that understand one thing, that Yabna Adam, nothing is going to happen to you in this dunya except by the will of the Almighty Allah. Where it is positive, it is the Almighty Allah who wills it. If it is negative, it is the Almighty Allah who allows it to happen. Nobody has any power to afflict you good or harm you in any way. It's only the Almighty Allah who decides that. That is why the hadith of Ibn Abbas, where he said the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, Ya gulam, inni u'allimuka kalimatin ihfadhillaha yahfadhaka. احفظ الله تجده تجاهك لو أن الناس اجتمعوا على أن ينفعوك بشيء لن ينفعوك بشيء إلا ما قد كتبه الله لك وإن الناس إن اجتمعوا على أن يضروك بشيء لن يضروك بشيء إلا ما قد كتبه الله لك رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف إنما الأمر بالقدر. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, Ya Ibn Abbas, oh boy, listen, I'm going to teach you some words. احفظ الله يحفظك. Be mindful of the Almighty Allah, He's going to protect you. احفظ الله تجده تجاهك. Be mindful of the Almighty Allah, you will find Him on your side all the time. And then he told him, listen boy, لو أن الناس, if the whole of humanity, the whole of mankind were to meet together at the convention center in Philadelphia to say you are the topic of discussion, they are going to censor you, they're going to cancel you, they're going to destroy you, they're going to kill you, they're going to do all evil to you. The Almighty, the Prophet Muhammad said, لَن يَضُرُّكَ بِشَيْءٍ إِلَّا مَا قَدْ كَتَبَهُ اللَّهُ لَكَ. They're never going to do any evil to you except what the Almighty Allah has willed. And if they were to meet to say they're going to give you any benefit, they will never be able to benefit you with anything except what the Almighty Allah has decreed you're going to get. And the Prophet made a very profound statement. Rufi'at al-aqlam. The pens have been lifted. So you see, when you are writing, when you finish writing, what happens? You lift the pen. You finish writing. So the Prophet Muhammad says, Rufi'at al-aqlam. The pens have been lifted. Wajaffat al-suhuf. The pages are dry. Innama al-amr bil-qadr. It's only the predestination, the will of the Almighty. That is at work. So these three verses give us this information that the Almighty Allah runs his dunya. Now, let's go to the next verse.
من شر الوسواس الخناس.
You're also seeking refuge from the evil of al-waswas. Al-waswas is whisper, the one who whispers. Al-khannas, the one who hides. And that's shaitan. He whispers to you, and in the moment you do the bad thing, he runs away and then he leaves you. Or he whispers to you, the moment you seek refuge from the Almighty Allah against him, he hides. These two explanations go. That shaitan whispers to us. Shaitan, don't forget, shaitan has made a promise with the Almighty Allah that he is going to destroy us. Understand that. He is not your friend. He is not your partner. I don't know if Sheikh is read Surah Al-Isra, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ
وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ قَالَ
نعم
قال أَأَسْجُدُ لِمَنْ خَلَقْتَ طِينًا
نعم
قال أرأيتك هذا الذي كرمت علي لئن أخرتني إلى يوم القيامة لأحتركن ذريته إلا قليلا.
نعم.
قال اذهب فمن تبعك منهم فإن جهنم جزاؤكم جزاء موفورا. واستفزز من استطعت منهم بصوتك واجلب عليهم بخيلك ورجلك وشاركهم في الأموال والأولاد وعدهم وما يعدهم الشيطان إلا غرورا. إن إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان وكفى بربك وكيلا.
The Almighty Allah is explaining to us how dangerous Iblis is to us, how dangerous Shaitan is to us. That وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ, when the Almighty Allah gave an order to the angels to prostrate to Adam, فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسِ, they all did so except Iblis. قَالَ أَأَسْجُدُ لِمَنْ خَلَقْتَ طِينًا, will I prostrate to the one that you've created with clay? قال أرأيتك هذا الذي كرمت علي. Oh Allah, Iblis is now talking. He said, oh Allah, do you see this guy, this Adam that you've lord over me, you've given him preference over me? لئن أخرتني إلى يوم القيامة. Ya Allah, if you delay me to the day of Qiyamah, لأحتنكن ذريته إلا قليلا. I'm going to destroy all his family except a few of them. So Iblis, from the first day, he had opened his what? His war with us. He has opened his what? His hatred. He has put in place his machines. He is ready to go to war. And Almighty Allah said, "Qala dhhab." Iblis, leave. فَمَنْ تَبِعَكَ مِنْهُمْ, anyone who follows you amongst them, فَإِنَّ جَهَنَّمَ جَزَاؤُكُمْ جَزَاءً مَوْفُورًا, you and them are all going to go to Jahannam. وَاسْتَفْزِزْ مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتَ مِنْهُمْ, drag whoever you want, catch whoever you want amongst them, بِصَوْتِكَ, with your voice. The scholars of Tafsir are saying the sound of Iblis here is what? Is music. And you know very well the kind of music that is going on around now. It's clear. The shaitan is behind the beats. وَأَجْلِمْ عَلَيْهِمْ بِخَيْلِكَ, pull them with your cavalry. وَرَجِلِكَ وَشَارِكُمْ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ, and then partner them in their monies and in their kids. The scholars of Tafsir are saying here that shaitan partnering us in our monies and our kids is, for example, if you come to have intimacy with your wife and then you don't read the dua, Allahumma jannibna shaitan wa jannibi shaitana mimma razaqtana. If you don't do that dua, shaitan becomes a part and parcel of the whole business. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, if one of you is going to go onto his family and then he says this dua, oh Allah, distance us from shaitan and distance shaitan from whatever you're going to bless us. If that intercourse will result into a pregnancy, shaitan has no power over that child. But the moment you forget or you are in a hurry, you are vibrating like an old Nokia phone. You want to finish whatever you want to do, and then there is no dua, shaitan is what? Is part of it. If you are entering your home and then you don't read your dua, Bismillah kharajna wa Bismillah walajna wa ala rabbina tawakkalna, shaitan and his troops say, Alhamdulillah, we have a place where we can sleep today, we have a place where we can eat. If you leave the house and then you don't say Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, shaitan and his company say, oh, today we have someone we're going to go with. You go and buy your food in McDonald's, you eat, and then you are not satisfied because shaitan has eaten 50% of the food before you come. It might sound funny, but that's the reality. That's the reality. And sometimes in your life, things are not going on well for you. And you don't understand why. Sometimes it's not that you don't do the right thing. You go to job on time. You are very, very punctual at the job. You are very, very attentive at the job. You do everything nice, but still things are not moving on well. Check your relationship with adhkar. Check your relationship with adhkar. How often do you remember the Almighty Allah? How often do you take care of your tongue in terms of what comes out of your mouth? When entering the toilet, do you do the adhkar? When coming out of the toilet, do you do adhkar? Or you're only interested in having, soap and water to clean your hand and that's it? Do you do the adhkar? It's very, very important because we as Muslims, our religion is both a physical and a spiritual religion. And these spiritualities that are going around, there is a world beyond our eyes. Even scientifically, the spectrum of light is not everything that we the human beings see. There is the infrared, and then there's the Bluetooth, and then there's what? The ultraviolet rays. We don't see them. The fact that we don't see ultraviolet rays doesn't mean that they don't exist. They exist. So just limiting our knowledge to what our five senses perceive is what? It's not enough. Because I can't see it. or because I can't feel it, or because I can't touch it, or because I can't, hear it, it doesn't exist. No. There are ultraviolet rays. You can't see them. You can't touch them. You can't feel them. Doesn't mean that they don't exist. They exist. So this is how. And Almighty Allah said, وَعِدُهُمْ, and then promise them. وَمَا يَعِدُهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ إِلَّا غُرُورًا. Shaitan only promises you delusion. إِنَّ عِبَادِي لَيْسَ لَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانٌ. Almighty Allah said, Iblis, understand one thing. My true servants, you have no power over them. وَكَفَى بِرَبِّكَ وَكِيلًا. Verily the Almighty Allah is enough as what? As a protector and a guide. Check, and let's go to Surah Taha. There's also another one. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا
لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى فَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمُ إِنَّ هَذَا عَدُوٌّ لَكَ وَلِزَوْجِكَ فَلَا يُخْرِجَنَّكُمَا مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ فَتَشْقَى
نعم
إِنَّكَ لَا تَجُوعَ فِيهَا وَلَا تَعْرَى
نعم
وَأَنَّكَ لَا تَظْمَأُ فِيهَا وَلَا تَضْحَى فوسوس إليه الشيطان قال يا آدم هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى فأكلا منها فبدت لهما سوآتهما وطفقا يخصفان عليهما من ورق الجنة وعصى آدم ربه فغوى.
The story here is repeated in Surah Taha. The first verse we read was in Surah Al-Isra. The story is repeated in Surah Taha, but with a different narration. The Almighty Allah says, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى. When the Almighty Allah told the angels to prostrate to Adam, they did accept Iblis, who refused. فَقُلْنَا يَا Adam. And the Almighty Allah told Ya Adam, إِنَّ هَذَا. You see this guy? عَدُوٌّ لَكَ وَلِزَوْجِكَ. He's the enemy, he's your enemy and your wife's enemy. فَلَا يُخْرِجَنَّكُمَا مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ فَتَشْقَى. Do not ever allow him to drive you out of Jannah, the two of you. فَتَشْقَى. There is a latifa here in tafsir. The Almighty Allah said, فَلَا يُخْرِجَنَّكُمَا مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ فَتَشْقَى. He didn't say, فَلَا يُخْرِجَنَّكُمَا مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ فَتَشْقَيَا. He said, do not allow him to drive the two of you, you and your wife, from Jannah. When the two of you are driven from Jannah, you, Adam, you are the only one who is going to suffer. He didn't say the two of you are going to suffer. He said only you, Adam. Because you, Adam, you have been given the responsibility over what? Over the leadership and the education of the family. So when you shirk that responsibility, you are the one who is going to be held responsible. That is why when the Prophet Muhammad said, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعِي وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ, all of us are shepherds and all of us have been given a flock to what? To look after. And we are going to be questioned on the day of Qiyamah. You, the man, you will be questioned concerning the education, the nurturing, and then the provision of the family, not the woman. This is our deen. You will be questioned. Some Muslim men, they are all interested in making babies with their wives. But as to whether his wife is praying, he doesn't care. As to whether she is doing Ramadan fasting, he doesn't care. As to whether she is doing her nafila, he doesn't care. The only time he knows that she's not praying is when he wants to get closer to her and then she is in her menstrual period. That's it. But he will come to the masjid for Fajr. He will come for Zuhur. He will come for Asr. He fasts Mondays and Thursdays. He does all the obligatory and even supererogatory actions. He does all of them. But as to the ibadah of his wife, he doesn't care. You will have a question to answer on the day of Qiyamah concerning that. You will answer. Because the Almighty Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Shaykh want to read.
Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. وقودها الناس والحجارة
نعم.
عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم
نعم.
ويفعلون ما يؤمرون.
This verse, the Almighty Allah say, oh, you believe, who you believe, protect yourselves and your families from entering hellfire. And that responsibility was put over us males. Being a male is not a privilege, it is a responsibility. Understand that. I'm the boss of the house. Yes, you are the boss because the Almighty Allah says so. But you are a boss because you what? You do what bosses do. You provide for the family. You guide the family. You teach them the deen. You protect them. That's what a boss does. A boss doesn't sleep and others do the job. A boss doesn't run away when things get tough. That is why in the Navy they say the captain is the last person to leave the boat. Whenever the boat is sinking, the captain is the last person to leave the boat. So Muslim men understand this. And the Almighty Allah, that is how He has shaped the world. If you as the husband, you do your duties, the Almighty Allah will make your wife humble and obedient to you. You don't need to request that. You don't need to demand that. The moment you see a man trying to demand that you must respect me, then there's a problem. Either she is originally rebellious or that he has lost the authority in the house because he has shirked his responsibility as a man in the house. So the Almighty Allah tells us in this verse, فَلَا يُخْرِجَنَّكُمَا مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ فَتَشْقَى. The Almighty Allah, when He was warning Adam, He told him, Shaitan is an enemy to you and your wife. He was speaking to two of them. Do not allow him to drive the two of you out of Jannah. But when the two of you are driven out of the Jannah, you are going to suffer. He didn't say the two of you are going to suffer. Why? Inna laka alla tajua fiha wa la ta'ara. Ya Adam, in Jannah you don't go hungry. Here the Almighty Allah continues using what? The singular pronoun with Adam. You Adam, inna laka. He didn't say inna lakuma. He said inna laka, you Adam, alla tajua fiha. In Jannah you are not go hungry. Wa la ta'ara, you are not naked. وَأَنَّكَ you Adam up to now لَا تَظْمَأُ فِيهَا وَلَا تَضَحَا. You don't go hungry and then you don't pass through the sun looking for a job in Jannah. But the moment Shaitan drives you out of Jannah, the two of you Adam, you are going to suffer to provide all of this for you and your wife. That is your responsibility. You the man. You are going to provide the food. You are going to provide the lodging. You are going to provide the clothes. You are going to provide what? The shelter. And look at this. This verse teaches us the four necessities that the human being needs. Long before the United Nations decided to say these are the four necessities, the Almighty Allah told us 1,400 years ago. You need food. You need water. You need clothing. You need what? You need shelter. Four things. If you have these four things, that is okay. And then the Almighty Allah said, فَوَسْوَسَ إِلَيْهِ الشَّيْطَانِ. And then Shaitan whispered to Adam, قال يا آدم, O Adam, هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد. Do you want me to guide you to the eternal fruit? The fruit that if you eat, you will never die. And all of us here, nobody wants to die. May the Almighty Allah grant us Jannah.
Amen.
May the Almighty Allah kill us.
Amen.
You see, nobody didn't say Amen. When I said when Almighty Allah give us Jannah, all of you said Amen. But when Almighty Allah kill us, nobody said Amen. It is a natural disposition that human beings, we don't want to die. It's how the Almighty Allah created us. That we don't want to die. It is natural. And Shaitan knew that. So that's what he used. He said, Ya Adam, hal adulluka ala shajaratil khuld. Adam, do you want me to show you a fruit that when you eat, you will never die? Wa mulkin la yabla. And a dominion, an empire that is eternal. We all want that. Which rich person do you know in this world who wants his money to finish? Nobody. Which king in this world do you know that who wants his what? His dominion to go away? Nobody. We want more money. Yes, we want long life. When we are praying, oh Allah, give us long life. Oh Allah, give us long life. It is not haram to do that. It is not bad. It is the natural disposition that the Almighty Allah has put in us. Not even as human beings. Even animals do not want to die. We will go to Surah Al-Naml. حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. When Suleiman was traveling with his soldiers, they got to a valley full of ants. And then the leader of the ants told the community of ants, hey, group of ants, hurry up and enter into your holes. Suleiman and his troops are coming. They don't know you are around. They will trample upon you and kill you. Even ants don't want to die. So it's a natural disposition for us. But then, in as much as we don't want to die, we should prepare for the death. That is why it's very, very scary. Because you know it. You know it's going to happen. You know it's going to come. But you don't want it. You want to always dodge. You always want to what? Survive it. And then, فَأَكَلَ مِنْهَا. The warning was to Adam. The whispering was to Adam. But then it is the two of them that committed the sin. Adam and Hawa. They committed the sin. فَبَدَتْ لَهُمَا سَوْآتُهُمَا. And then their privacy was exposed. وَطَفِقَا يَخْصِفَانِ عَلَيْهِمَا مِنْ وَرَقِ الْجَنَّةِ. They went about looking for, leaves in Jannah to cover themselves. وَعَصَى Adam. Listen, the Almighty didn't say وَعَصَيَا or وَعَصَى Adam wa Hawa. He said Adam was the one who wronged Allah. All this, the Almighty Allah is protecting the woman. In all this, the Almighty Allah is shielding her. The Almighty Allah is putting the man at the forefront of what? Of all the struggles, of all the blame. The Almighty Allah is protecting her. And then someone comes to her and says, we Muslims, we trample over women's rights. We don't know the rights of women. We deceive women. We oppress women. When did women start to vote here in this country? When did women start to vote in America? When did women start to gain an education in the Western world? Fatimatul Fihri was the one who established the first university in the history of humanity in Morocco. She was a Muslim woman. Aisha radiallahu anha has 272 students from the Sahaba and the Tabi'een. When Abu Bakr and Umar are confused about a legislation, they go to Aisha for an answer. They send Abdullah ibn Abbas, go to Ummul Mu'minin and ask her, how did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam do this, or what did he say about this? And then she gives them the verdicts. The Muslim woman has a right to inheritance when her father dies and when her husband dies and when her son dies. In history, the Romans were using the woman as just some sexual objects. You know it. The Greeks, the same way. The Hindus, when the husband dies, they burn his wife along with him. The Arabs, before Islam, when a man gives birth to a daughter, he buries her alive because he feels that he is a man. Why would he give birth to a daughter? And excuse my language, the stupid guy forgot that it was a woman who gave birth to him. He forgot that it was a woman who gave birth to him. But when he gives birth to a daughter, he feels shy about it. In some cultures, if you go, the woman is the laborer, she is the farmer, she is the cook, she is the alarm clock. From where I'm coming from, a man and a wife will go to the farm, and the woman is pregnant, heavy, but she still carries a baby behind her back. And then she carries firewood on her head. And then she holds the hand of another child. And the husband only has a gun or a cutlass on his shoulder, and then he's whistling in the forest. They are going home. That is how the world has treated the woman and is still treating the woman. And look at how the Almighty Allah is describing a woman in his Quran. That yes, she ate the fruit, but Adam is to be blamed. He didn't blame her. Yes, they both came down to the dunya, but Adam is the one who is supposed to go through all the nitty-gritties of life, all the challenges of life to what? To put food on the table. Women, you are queens in Islam. And queens do not dirty themselves. Queens do not come into the company of unknown men. When the Queen Elizabeth was alive, if you go to Buckingham Palace, is this just any man who touches her? No, there are specific and special men who have that authority or that opportunity. For us in Islam, every woman is a queen, and not just anybody can come close to her or touch her. That is how Islam has elevated the woman. So, Muslim women that are listening to us, forget about all these feminist movement all this liberation of women movement, all of them are fallacies. All of them are detrimental to you. Because the world that we live in now, the woman has been turned into a commercial object. If they're advertising for a car, a woman with bikini is sitting next to the car on the picture. Even boxing, round one, a woman in bikini moving around. What's the relationship between the punches and the woman in bikini? I don't understand it. What's the relationship? It's just that the woman has been commercialized. She has been sexualized. But when we say that nobody has the right to see the nakedness of our women, they say we oppress the women. Because those guys who are predators, those guys who are thieves, who want to exploit the body of the woman, they are the ones who come out and say, no, the hijab is an oppression. The woman is free to dress the way she wants to dress. The woman is free to go wherever she wants to go. The woman is free to associate whatever she wants to associate. And this has brought a problem for us in the West now. The number one problem that we are facing through child delinquency is single mother families. Where a single woman is raising what? Is raising children. This is the number one cause of kids going to prison. This is the number one cause for kids doing drugs. This is the number one cause for kids entering into vices and being criminals. Because the absence of a father in the house affects the nurturing of the child. And the American statistics have this. But why don't they want to implement it? Because the radical left wants to destroy everybody because they are destroyed. They want everybody to lose their morals because they've lost their morals. So if we want to be on the path and the right path, let's all go back to the Quran. And as we read the verses of the Quran, the Almighty Allah has subtle messages for us in the Quran. Some of us have read these verses a lot of times, but our minds have not gone through, why is the Almighty Allah, here he says the two of them, but here he says only Adam, when all of them were involved in the same act. But ultimately, the Almighty Allah makes us understand that Shaitan is what? Is our enemy. And all these things that are happening with all this feminist movement and all these, rights of women and the rights to do whatever they want to do, it's just that waswasa to Shaitan. It's just, the whispering of the Shaitan. Sheikh, the Almighty Allah says in Surah Yasin, very, very clear. Alam ahad ilaykum.
ألم أهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان
نعم.
إنه لكم عدو مبين
وأن اعبدوني
هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تأكلون.
Almighty Allah says in Surah Yasin, Alam ahadi ilaykum ya bani Adam alla ta'budu shaitan. Oh, the children of Adam, haven't I, the Almighty Allah, made a covenant with you that never worship shaitan? The worshipping of shaitan here is not about, bowing down to shaitan and saying shaitan akbar. No. It's about what? Being mindful of what? Of the whisperings of shaitan. Innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. Shaitan is a clear enemy of yours. وَأَنِ اعْبُدُونِي هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. Worship me, Allah alone, and that's the right path. وَلَقَدْ أَضَلَّ مِنْكُمْ جِبِلًّا كَثِيرًا. Shaitan has destroyed a lot of people. أَفَلَمْ تَكُونُوا تَأْكِلُونَ. Wouldn't you think and reflect over that? So, من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي شيخنا
الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس.
Shaitan is the one, after he has whispered to you, when he whispers to you and then you what? You do istighfar or you do a'udhu billah al-khannas and then he hides back. But then, he wants to explain to us who Shaitan really is. الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ. He's the one who whispers in the hearts of men, in the breast of men.
مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ.
Shaitan whispers in the hearts of men, and that's Shaitan has a lot of levels through which he destroys people. His number one target for you is to commit shirk. That's Shaitan's first target. Makes you to commit shirk. If he is not successful there, he tries for you to commit kaba'ir, the bigger sins. drink alcohol, fornicate, kill. If he's not successful with you over there, he makes you to do sagair. The small what? The small sins. If he is not successful with you over there, he brings you to bid'ah. Because bid'ah, if you are doing bid'ah, you think you are doing something good. So you are busy. Shaitan has already led you astray. If he doesn't get you to do bid'ah, he makes you to belittle these sins and see them as nothing. Oh, let people be, free them, let them have the chance to do whatever they want to do. You are not doing the sin. You don't do it. But when other people do it, oh no, it's nothing. That's the next step. If he doesn't get you to do that, he tries for you to be arrogant. You do the good deed and you feel like, yes, today I did a lot of rakats. Today, yes. Today I have done a lot of afkar. These are khutwat shaitan. The steps through with shaitan. So, and the last one is the most dangerous one too. For you to be arrogant after doing good deeds is more dangerous than shirk. Do you know why? Shirk is clear cut. You are going to Jahannam. But the arrogant part is you've done the salah very, very well. But then you feel in your heart that you are better than this guy. You are better than that. And that is zero. For the shirk, the person has not worshipped the Almighty Allah. He's going to Jahannam. But for this one, you've worshipped Allah and you are going to Jahannam. Double loss. Two is a loss, as they say. So let's guard against, and none of us is safe from it. Even me, who is sitting here. The fact that I'm the one reading the verses and explaining doesn't mean that I'm safe from what? From the khutwat of shaitan.
No.
All of us are struggling with shaitan because shaitan was very, very clear with Almighty Allah. La ahtadikanna dhurriyatahu illa qalila. I'm going to destroy all his family, all the family of Adam, because you've made Adam superior over me. I'm going to destroy every member of his family, except only a few who are going to escape. Shakara, there's another verse.
يا أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين إنما يأمركم بالسوء والفحشاء وأن تقولوا على الله ما لا تعلمون.
Oh, human beings. The Almighty didn't say, oh, those who believe here. He called the humanity. كُلُوا مِمَّا فِي الْأَرْضِ حَلَالًا طَيِّبًا. Eat from everything that is halal and pure in this dunya. The Almighty has given us that opportunity. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. But then do not follow the path of shaitan, the whispering of shaitan. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ مُبِينٌ. Up till now, the Almighty Allah is very clear that shaitan is our enemy. إِنَّمَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ بِالسُّوءِ. Shaitan orders you to do evil. وَالْفَحْشَاء, and profanity. وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And even to say upon Allah what you do not know. This is very specific to us, students of knowledge. If they ask you a question you don't know, say you don't know. That's it. But because the people say, this sheikh is very knowledgeable, and they ask you a question you don't know, if you say you don't know, the people will say, like, hey, the imam, he doesn't know. Because you don't want them to say you don't know, then you lie. That's very, very problematic. There is a hadith where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ma minkum min ahadin, or min al jinnati wan nas," from amongst the jinn and the human beings. So we have two shaitans. We have shaitan from the jinn and we have shaitan from human beings. Understand that? The shaitan from jinn is the one who hides. But for the shaitan from the human beings, he's clear. He's the one who come and, you know what, let's just go and rob that store, man. Yes. It's just soft thing. Just take one and that's it. You'll be okay. And then you are fresh like me. You pull one, it goes into your brain, and then you start seeing things. You start seeing things, and you start preaching on the street. And you are seeing Abraham Lincoln, and you are seeing John F. Kennedy. You can pull one. You start seeing things. It's all shaitan. Shaitan from the human beings, peer pressure. Peer pressure. That because of the people you hang out with and the things that they do, they are shayateen, they pull you. That's why it's very, very important. You are careful the people you hang around with. It's very, very important. If you hang around good company, you're going to be in good company. If you hang around 9 broke people, you're going to be the number 10. Of course, someone is laughing. Yes. And the hadith is very clear. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, the example of, having a good friend is like sitting next to someone who sells perfume or cologne. That's the example. Either he gives you a gift, or when people come and buy, when they are testing, you also get a good fragrance. That's it. And people always meet you and you say, oh, you always smell fresh. It's because your friend sells what? Sells cologne. And you are the one who tests them. And the example of, having bad company is like what? It's like sitting next to a blacksmith. If he doesn't burn your clothes, you're going to get what? Holes in there from the fire. Or you're going to get a bad smell. That's it. So shayateen al-ins, they are more dangerous than shayateen al-jinn, because shayateen al-jinn, if you say a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, the Almighty Allah protects you from them. But shayateen al-ins, you are telling them no, and they say, no, don't worry, it's just going to be you're just going to drive the car. We're going to hit the store. You are there in the car, you are driving. And when you see us come, you just stop the engine and she will wish away. Whoa! They'll go and rob. The owner of the shop comes shooting just anyhow, and then he shoots you in the head. And you are the driver. He kills you. You are an accomplice in there. So shayateen al-ins wal jinn. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says, I think in Musnad Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, he said, مَا مِنْكُم مِّنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا وَمَعَهُ قَرِينُهُ مِنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ وَمِنَ الْجِنِّ. That all of us have partners from the angels and in the jinn. قالوا وأنت يا رسول الله. They said, even you, Ya Rasulullah. He said, وأنا إلا أن الله عانني عليه فأسلم ولا يأمرني إلا بخير. That the Almighty Allah has helped me over my own, and then my jinn has what? He has accepted Islam, and then he doesn't what? He doesn't order me to do anything except good things. Yeah. So all of us have it. Sometimes you see that the Imam, his eyes are red. Yeah, yes, sometimes it happens. All of us. There's the hadith of Safiya, wife of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that she came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Ramadan in the last 10 days, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was what? Was in the masjid doing itikaf. After he had his conversation with her, when she was leaving, he wanted to see her off. He escorted her, and then 2 of the Sahaba saw him and her, and they started hurrying up. They quickened their pace and said, "Hey, ala rislikuma, take your time. It is my wife Safiya. Don't think I'm with another woman." And he said, "Oh, Ya Rasulullah, we know it is you. How can we think like that about you?" He said, "Don't worry. Inna shaitana yajli min ibni Adam majra dam." He said, shaitan moves in us same way blood moves in us. This hadith is very clear about being careful of suspecting people wrongly. Of suspicion, not even suspecting people wrongly. Suspicion. Be mindful of suspicion. If you don't see it, keep quiet.
Yeah, come on.
That's it. If you are not sure, keep quiet. Don't say things you're not aware of or you don't know. We live in communities now, or in the time whereby if you want to have likes on social media, just post. Just anything. Especially post about people's reputation. If you see someone come out from the liquor store, that doesn't mean that they want to drink alcohol. You could have gone there by mistake. I know this because it happened to me. I went to Maryland for dawah. I was coming back. I got to a gas station. I parked to get gas. I just entered into the building and I gave them money. Can you give me gas? $50. They said, no, this is not the place. It's in the other door. I came out of the place and it was a liquor store. So the moment you see Imam come out of the liquor store, you say, hey. The man went to get, some energy drink. So don't, even Abdullah ibn Mubarak said, if you smell alcohol on the beard of your brother, don't assume he went to drink alcohol. Assume that someone mistakenly spilled alcohol on his beard. This is how far the Salaf are trying to move away from suspicion. Because the moment you suspect the person and then it is not true, you have a problem. For example, in Islam, before the ruling of fornication is applied on people, you must have 4 witnesses, true or false? Yes. You must bring 4 witnesses who came and witnessed it. And these 4 witnesses, you don't come and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, come. No. That's not what the Sharia says. If you come and meet them, you must speak so that they'll hear you. Oh, so this is what you are doing. Okay, I'm coming. And then you go east. You go and bring 1 person. When you come, did you see them? Say yes. And then you go and bring another person from west. Did you see them? Because they are fools. They continue doing it until you go and come back. If 3 people came and they said, yes, we saw them. The act was going on. The pen was writing. And then the last person said, oh, me when I came, they were just lying on their bed naked. You, the one who brought the report, and the 3 other people, you receive 80 for lying. 80 lashes for lying. And the 2 of them will be left scot-free, and then the last person who said, I didn't see anything. Why? Islam wants to protect people's reputation. In as much as they are doing the wrong thing. But Almighty Allah wants to give us an opportunity to change. So suspicion in Islam, wallahi, my brothers and sisters, let's be very, very mindful.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم فلا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم.
Oh, you will believe, be mindful of suspicion. Inna ba'da dhanni ithm. Part of suspicion is a sin. Do not spy over each other. Islam hates that. That is why in contemporary Islamic jurisdiction or law, video evidence is not accepted. Of course. Video evidence is not accepted. Because you could be spying over them. If you bring the video evidence, it will be used against you with a charge of spying. There is an author that said Umar ibn Khattab, during his time, was passing in the streets of Medina at night, and then he heard someone singing in a house. He checked the door was closed, he scaled the wall, and then he found them. They were drinking, and they were gambling. And Umar said, oh, this is what you're doing. Okay, we're going to see each other tomorrow. They said, wait, Amirul Mu'minin. We have committed 1 sin, but you have done 3. Just like what? The Almighty Allah said, when you're entering someone's house, you should do salam and greet. Did you do that? He said, no. 2, the Almighty Allah said, do not spy on people. You came and then you spied upon us. He said, okay, keep quiet. Case die. In another narration, they said he heard someone sing, and then he scaled the wall. It was a man and a woman. And the guy said, you've suspected me wrongly. You've scaled my wall, you spied on me, and you suspected me wrongly. Why? This woman is my wife. And the glass you see in my hand is not alcohol. That's another narration. He said, okay, continue your thing. I'm at fault. Spying is not allowed in Islam. And let's have positive thoughts for what? For each other. It's very, very important. Shaykhana, finally, even in Jahannam, وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر
وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم وما كان لي عليكم من سلطان إلا أن دعوتكم فاستجبتم لي
نعم.
فلا تلوموني ولوموا أنفسكم ما أنا بمصرخكم وما أنتم بمصرخي إني كفرت بما أشركتمون من قبل إن الظالمين لهم عذاب أليم.
The verse before, وَبَرَزُوا لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا, on the day of Qiyamah, when all of us have appeared and nobody is going to dodge. Everybody is going to appear. If you know you have ways and means in the Qiyamah, do whatever you want to do in this dunya and don't come to the Akhirah. Don't come. When you die, we are going to bury you. Tell us that, oh, you guys, I'm not going to get to the Akhirah. Tell us that and let's see. وَبَرَزُوا لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا فَقَالَ الضُّعَفَاءُ لِلَّذِينَ اسْتَكْبَرُوا. Those who are weak told those who are arrogant, إِنَّا كُنَّا لَكُمْ تَبَعًا. We used to follow you in this dunya. You are the ones who are telling us all these things are okay. فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُغْنُونَ عَنَّا مِنْ عَذَابِ اللَّهِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Will you help us, impart the punishment is too much. Will you take some for us? Because you are the big man. Take some for us. قَالُوا لَوْ هَدَانَ اللَّهُ لَهَدَيْنَاكُمْ. If the Almighty Allah had really guided us, we will also have helped you. سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْنَا. Between you and us is the same thing. أَجَزِعْنَا أَمْ صَبَرْنَا. Whether we are patient or whether we are not. مَا لَنَا مِن مَحِيصٍ. There's nothing that we can do. And then that's in Jahannam. They will be cursing each other. Your friend that deceived you to go and do all those evil things in Jahannam, and they will be cursing each other. And then in the end they will say, it is even Shaitan who did that. Shaitan. And then Shaitan is in Jahannam with them, and then he was like, hey guys, listen, keep quiet. وَقَالَ شَيْطَانٌ لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ. Listen. إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعَدَ الْحَقِّ. The Almighty Allah made you a very beautiful and a true promise. وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ. I also brought my promise to you. فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ. You believe in me and then I deceived you. فَمَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ. I didn't have any power over you. إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي. I only called you and then you answered the call. فَلَا تَلُومُونِي. Do not blame me. وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Blame yourselves. This verse, may the Almighty Allah safeguard us.
Amen.
Because what evidence do you have against Shaitan that he made you to drink the alcohol? Did he come and give you the cup for you to drink? No. He whispers. He gives you the suggestions. He gives you the evil inclinations and then you act upon it. And the moment you act upon it, he's your accomplice. But who has done the sin? You. And that is why the Almighty Allah always says, إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ مُبِينٌ. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ مُبِينٌ. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌ مُبِينٌ. He is always what? Your evil. He is always your enemy. He is always your enemy. My brothers and sisters, yesterday and today we spoke about these two surahs, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. And just to repeat as a reminder, anytime you are going to sleep, the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he recites قُلْ هُوَ 3 times in his hands, بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ 3 times in his hands, and Barabbin Nas 3 times in his hands, and then he blows into it, and then he wipes his whole body, and then he sleeps. It is a protection for you against the evils that we spoke yesterday, the darkness, the jinns, the enemies, the envious people, the jealous people, the charlatans, the magicians, and then finally Shaitan himself. The Almighty Allah safeguard us and protect us and grant us Jannah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum. We'll entertain some questions if brothers have some questions. Abdullah, can you switch this off now?
Back to when you was talking about